Yeah. Just wanted to ask Jack, after the Viva we've just finished, I know students might be a little bit anxious about this assessment. Jack, by the way, is in his first year of his PhD, but he was an undergraduate here previously, so he's only a few years ahead of you guys. So I just wanted to ask him very quickly about this experience of doing the Viva, whether there's anything he was anxious about coming into it and how it felt for him. I think we'll all agree it was a really fascinating and fluent discussion. I don't know if it felt like that inside your own head.
Yeah.
So just if Jack could give us a little bit of an insight into what it's like to be in that chair.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting to hear it called fluent. I mean, when you're often talking and responding to questions and thinking about how ideas might flow and how best to answer a question, it really doesn't feel fluent in your head, and I think that's fine. One thing that I often find myself worrying about as I'm speaking and before I speak is am I being clear? Am I being clear? Am I making sense? But don't worry about that as you're speaking would be my recommendation. I mean, just if you're worried about speaking too quickly or going off topic, just slow down, and you can always ask certain follow-up questions like, am I answering your question, or would you like me to go into anything in more detail? Some things like that are really useful. I guess a general worry that always comes with speaking in as part of a Viva or any public speaking is being asked a question that will sort of throw you, and particularly like the starting questions are the most difficult. And what I would say, or how I would deal with that, is to make sure you're coming into the Viva with a couple of key points that you want to bring out as a speaker, and make sure that you feel comfortable with bringing the conversation back to those points if you're ever sort of a bit lost, because I mean ultimately the Viva is about you speaking and the examiner is just there to sort of help bring out your research. It's not sort of a negative interrogative process, it's just about getting you to talk about your ideas. So make sure you have a couple of key salient points that you want to talk about, and maybe even a couple of examples that you can fall back on. You might not need them, but that will help you feel less nervous.
What was the question that you found most
gendered? I really wasn't prepared for that. I should, because I work mainly on male homosexual identity. I think you just got to address the question, and even say, that's something that I'm thinking about at the moment. It's a really interesting question. I need to think about that a bit more. But my general answer right away would be, yes, it's interesting, but this is more interesting. That this is what I'd like to focus on. So you're just sort of moving the answer to, like a politician, to what you want to say, really. I mean, I don't know if that... Yeah. So you've got to answer the question, but you've got to address it and then think about how that influences the answer that the research that you're prepared to talk about.
I think that's good advice. Always falling back on what are your baselines. Your real approach to the topic. Have confidence, have faith in your approach and your readings. And if something's coming at you from left field, try and think, how can I not to evade the question, but to think, okay, to think it through, to process it by going back to what you are sure of.
And then use that as a starting point. And because I think a good Viva, like a good essay, will have a strong theme, one particular idea running through it, and if you're sort of sure on that, you can bring any sort of extraneous stuff back to that theme and talk about that.
But it wasn't too bad?
No, it's good. You feel good doing it, it's interesting.
Well, thanks Jack, and back to the lecture workshop.
Good luck.